Today there are 7 publicly traded companies in the world that are worth more than $1 trillion. 6 of them are what people think of as technology companies: Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Alphabet, etc. While one of them is an oil company, Saudi Aramco, which is majority owned by the Saudi government. But if things stay on the current trajectory, later this year or next year, the first healthcare company might join the $1 trillion club. Eli Lilly, maker of the popular weight loss drug Zepbound. This is a company that just crossed the $800 billion market cap level for the first time, having added $250 billion of market cap just since the start of the year. So it's not hard to imagine it getting from $800 billion up to $1 trillion at some point. If that happens, it would be pretty impressive because it's not easy for a healthcare company, specifically a pharmaceutical company, to become so large. Don't get me wrong, the drug industry is huge, with annual global sales of $1.5 trillion. But it's a challenge for any single drug company to stay on the top for long. For one, developing successful drugs is hard. Only 12% of drugs that enter clinical trials are ultimately approved by the FDA. And it takes an average of 10 to 15 years and $2.6 billion to bring one of those successful drugs to market. On top of that, even for the drugs that are approved, there's no guarantee that they'll become commercial successes, let alone the massive hits that bring in billions of dollars of revenue. And when a company does get lucky and stumbles onto one of those hits, it has only a limited window in which to sell it before lower cost competitors enter the market. The model in the US and many other countries is for a drug to have patent protection for a number of years, something like 2 decades, after which competitors can sell generic versions of the drug, driving down prices. A great illustration of this is what happened with Pfizer, maker of the statin Lipitor, the second best-selling medicine of all time. Lipitor came to market in the late 1990s and surged out of the gate as doctors began prescribing the medication to help lower people's cholesterol. Sales of the drug peaked at $13 billion in 2006 and stayed around there for several years. But after Lipitor's patent expired in 2011, revenues for the drug plummeted, and quickly global sales of Lipitor plunged all the way down below $1.5 billion where they stand today. A more recent example is AbbVie's Humira, the best-selling medicine of all time. After the drug's patents expired and competitors began selling cheaper versions of the rheumatoid arthritis drug last year, sales of Humira tumbled 32%. Pfizer, and to a lesser extent AbbVie, have struggled to make up for the decline in the sales of their best-selling drugs. It's certainly possible to do it, but this business model, where a drug makes the company a lot of money for a period of time and then sales eventually plunge, is probably why we haven't seen healthcare companies become as massive as, say, technology companies. Eli Lilly is no exception to this model. It'll face similar competitive pressures for its weight loss drug in the future. But in the meantime, what Eli Lilly has going for it is the fact that it has one of the leading drugs in a market that is expected to be absolutely massive. Zepbound and other anti-obesity drugs are expected to become the best-selling drugs of all time, with analysts forecasting the category to generate sales of over $100 billion per year by the end of the decade. Goldman Sachs says that 15 million Americans, or 13% of the adult population, could be taking these drugs by 2030. So that's why Eli Lilly's market value has been ballooning. Lilly, along with its chief rival Novo Nordisk, maker of Ozempic and Wegovy, will dominate this market over the next several years. Lilly is expected to generate over $12 billion of profits this year, double what it made last year. And by 2026, profits are expected to nearly double again to $23 billion. Profits are also surging for Novo Nordisk, Europe's most valuable company with a $636 billion market cap. Now, while both of these companies are firing on all cylinders right now, they're trading at expensive valuations, which means that the value of the companies are high relative to their profits. That's a reflection of the excitement surrounding the potential of weight loss drugs. The question is, are investors getting too excited, making the stocks overvalued? So we'll see if either one or both of these stocks eventually reaches a $1 trillion market cap. My hunch is they will, but I don't own either of them today. However, I do own the 3rd largest healthcare company in the world, United Health, which incidentally has a market value of around $500 billion. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting. If you want more content focused on investing, business, and the economy, hit that subscribe button.